Richard Sherman just had a press conference with the Niners and just laid out exactly why he's not coming back next season. There's been reports, and now he says there's really, unless there's a miracle, the Niners have 40 free agents, less than 30 million in cap space, and they're going to have to give 20 plus million to Trent Williams and 18 plus million to Fred Warner per season. It's very specific what he said. So he's gone. And my question to you guys is, how do the Niners replace him next year? What do you think the plan is? What should the plan be?
I would say the plan would simply be, I mean, you can't really determine it until you know who the defensive coordinator is, for one, because if Robert Saleh is leaving for a head coach job, it could be anyone between Raheem Morris or Dan Quinn or whoever they end up hiring. And I think that they'll bring over some guys that know their defense more familiar. So that'd be one way to replace Sherman to that degree. But I think Sherman might be priced out, like you said, with the contract situation. So it's anyone's guess what they end up doing. But they should re-sign Mosley.
Yeah, they should have Mosley. I think they might have him as a restricted free agent going into this offseason. So that's step one. And then it depends on what happens with Verrett as well. If they can get him back, what his cost is going to be. But beyond that, and I kind of mentioned that in the piece that I wrote this morning, is that they should be looking to go cornerback in round one. There's a couple of good prospects right there in Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech, and also Patrick Surtain, the second out of Alabama. The guy out of Alabama could have been the reason why they were out there in the first place instead of Mac Jones. So that's the direction that I would go.
I like J.C. Horn at South Carolina, Joe Horn's son. But there's a lot of good options, and they're all big. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, it seems to me that Richard Sherman knows he's no dummy. He's gone. Not just because they can't afford him. I don't think they need him or want him anymore. It's great that they have him now because Mosley's hurt. He has a hamstring injury, and I don't know if he's going to be back this week, but Mosley has a future. Mosley can play man coverage. He's more of a priority this offseason than Sherman. Verrett's more of a priority this offseason than Sherman. I'd like to think that the Niners would spend a first-round pick on a cornerback. They do have other needs, and they've made it pretty clear that philosophically they don't like spending first-round picks on corners. I mean, they're going to spend it on defensive tackles and linemen every freaking year if it's a defensive player. So I don't know if they're going to go that route. I mean, I think they want to tell themselves, Nick Bosa comes back. We get a replacement for D Ford, Javon Kinlaw. It improves. Eric Armstead's here. Mosley and Verrett should be good enough if we're playing good, sound defense with 7 in coverage. I think that's going to be what happens, which is scary. But they do have to get someone in here because everyone else is gone. Witherspoon, everyone is gone. So it's like, which round do they draft one?
Yeah.
Probably, if I had to guess, it depends on the coordinator. But if it's Saleh, probably no earlier than round 3, which is really exciting.
Well, I think it's pretty certain that it's going to be a coordinator that's going to be running a similar type of scheme. There's a lot of them that are out there right now that are coming up. And Shanahan likes it, so I think that's what we're going to see them do regardless.
And it's basically the difference between aggressive and conservative. It's very conservative. You rush with 4, you drop 7. You don't create opportunities for big plays for the offense. You make them work. And that's what Shanahan wants when he says it's a very sound defense. That's code for conservative. Aggressive would be blitzing, bringing extra guys because you have amazing corners. And it's more what Belichick and Flores and that school of defense, what Baltimore does.